Hi, James. Thanks for coming in today. How are you feeling about your drive over?
Okay, I guess. I know I have to get over the accident and everything, considering I have to go to school and work and things.
Right.
Today was better than usual though, because I had my mom and dad bring me. I guess I felt a little safer having both of them in the car. Sometimes I work myself up so much just thinking about everything that's going on or about going somewhere. That is why, it's been so hard to get out and get to school lately.
Well, it's perfectly normal to experience the fears that you've been having about getting into the car after the experience that you've had. I'm really glad to see though that you're recognizing how important it is to work on that so that you can get to the places that you need to in order to live a more productive life. That's a huge part of the process that you're doing, and you're doing an amazing job already. I imagine there is a larger sense of safety when you have both of your parents with you.
Yeah, I know they can't do it all the time, with work and all, but it's nice having them both there.
Well, we can definitely talk to mom and dad when I have a parent session with them about how safe you felt on that ride today and how we can recreate that feeling of safety in the future whenever you have to go somewhere. Can you think back and tell me about any other time with any other people or instances that made you feel safe?
Yeah, in my mom's minivan or in my grandpa's big truck, I feel safe in both of them for some reason. The car that we used to ride to school in was so small, and uh, and it was just destroyed. So, whenever I get into a small car now, I think about how that car was small and how it looked after the accident, and it was all smashed up and everything. Then I get all nervous and sweaty, and I just feel I can't breathe anymore. And then I'm embarrassed, and I don't even know what to, I don't know how to feel about that.
Well, there's nothing to be embarrassed about. These feelings are completely normal for you to have. And it's great that there are two vehicles that you do feel safe in. But what you witnessed with your friend's accident has left you with a lot of memories that are going to continue to come up. But we're going to think about what we can do to make you feel safer. And when those memories do come up, or whenever you have to get into a smaller car to ride somewhere.
Okay, sounds good.
One thing that you can do anywhere is work on controlling your breathing. By controlling our breathing, we can control the levels of stress and tension that we may be feeling in our bodies. Let's start by sitting comfortably and make sure your feet are on the floor and you have your arms at your sides. And now put one hand on your chest and one hand on your stomach. And now I just want you to focus on breathing in and out. And let's try to get that breathing more slowly. And one way we can do that is by counting or just concentrate on how your hand is on your chest and it's barely moving, and then that hand on your stomach is going to rise and fall with each breath you take. Now, how does that feel?
I feel kind of silly, but it does feel like it's calming me.
Well, that's good. Well, now, whenever the unwanted thoughts or memories come in, I want you to think of a word, like the word calm, for instance, and the breathing slowly, and that would still have your chest is barely moving, your stomach, your hand on your stomach is rising and falling with each breath. And when the other thoughts try to come into your head, just picture them floating away.
All right. Well, that feels pretty good, but I still don't know if that's going to be enough to get me into a small car again, but I'll give it a try.
Well, that's good. Well, it's great that you're open to seeing what things do work and what doesn't work for you, and we have plenty of things that we can explore to make you feel better. Um, I do know, James, when you first came in and we first met, you told me how much you love to read books. Is that something that you're still doing?
I guess. Well, no, not really. Not since the accident.
Okay. Well, I would like for you to get back to reading. This is something that you already find relaxing, so by returning back to that activity, you're doing something that you know you enjoy already. And being mindful and focused on reading will also deter those thoughts from the trauma that's affecting you. What do you think would happen if you spent some time reading before you had to get into the car?
I don't know, but reading has always seemed to calm me. I like reading a good mystery and trying to solve the crime or figure out, why, you know, what happened or whatever. Um, and usually, trying to figure that out will take my mind off of other things, and it just makes me focus on that.
Well, good. And I think that's a great place for us to start with another technique and kind of getting you on track and getting you to stop focusing so much on the memories of that incident that you've been exposed to. How about you leave here today and go find yourself a great new mystery, and we can strategically schedule your reading time around when you're going to have to go to school. I'd like for you to start reading before you leave for school in the mornings. And during this time, keep track on a sheet of paper of how you're feeling about getting into the car after you've read. And you'll be using a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being relaxed and 10 being the most nervous you've ever felt about anything. And when you leave school to head home, you're not going to have that reading time. But we also want you to keep track of how you're feeling during that time as well, just so we can compare those later and see if this is something that's actually helping you or if we need to explore other options. And you can just keep up with that routine until our next appointment and bring that into me. How does that sound?
Sure, sounds like a good idea. Hopefully it'll work.
Well, I hope so too. But keep in mind, this is just one thing that we're trying out, and there are many more techniques that we can examine to get you just where you need to be.
All right, thank you.
Well, thanks. Thanks for coming in today. We'll see you next week.
All right.